Alright, so give it to me straight, Doc. How am I? Well, Mr. Code, you suffered a level 5 heart attack. Your heart nearly exploded twice. But Fluttershy, and the sweater, it was so... Don't even think about it. There's also signs of recent head trauma, and don't ask. So, what do I do? Well, whatever you do, don't look at anything cute or adorable. Your heart may not be able to take it. Okay, yeah, alright. Thanks, Doc. Well, I better get to work.
Ah, Mr. Code, good to see you back. I assume all is well?
Well, as good as things can be. Also, the, Doc, he said no more hitting me with gavels.
What? Why, that's preposterous. I would never. It's all in your head.
I know. I can feel the concussion brewing as we speak.
Well, Ocean does not exist, so therefore you can do nothing. So shut up and begin your cross-examination.
Some days I really hate this job. The CMC are working with Twilight to earn their cutie marks.
Hold it!
It's a nice change in the CMC dynamic to include one of the main 6 in trying to discover their talents. Something you'd guess their respective family members would assist them with. Then again, Rarity has the boutique, Scootaloo's parents are unknown, and Applejack is taking care of Sweet Apple Acres. And Twilight is free because being a princess means you have absolutely no royal business whatsoever. Seriously, are we ever going to see any more of Twilight performing any royal duties outside the opener? Moving on. This is the first time in the series we've seen Sweetie Belle receiving any magical tutelage, and we see that her abilities are growing. Scootaloo opts for the technical training, operating in a similar field to her scooter, and Apple Bloom is surprisingly going the chemistry route, growing plants. I figured she'd go down the construction path as she's demonstrated previously in refurbishing the clubhouse, yet I like this turn as we expand upon her interest, and it's obviously a specialty that could be used to help support the farm by growing trees. And this could be an interesting future scenario where the farm is in debt and the apples are scarce, and through Apple Bloom's formula, it could save the farm. Maybe she'll become an evil scientist and bring terror with unimaginable weapons of mass destruction.
My word! And she seemed like such a nice little filly whenever I would go down to Sweet Apple Acres.
Really? Why do you go down there?
It's where Granny Smith and I have our dates.
What? What?
Does the judge have to gavel a bitch?
Moving on. The CMC used Twilight time and Twilight's position to rise in popularity with the school children.
Hold it!
I have the weirdest sensation to play the MLP Game Loft game right now. It's probably because of Derpy. Such a silly, silly pony. We can now add elderly abuse to Diamond Tiara's infinite list of sins, and what's this? Oh my gosh, another layer to our one-dimensional bully. True, being able to meet a princess would be an interesting event, and I'm not debating her interest in such a meeting. What I noticed was more subtle. Diamond Tiara has always prided and boasted her social status, but through this conversation it appears she's doing it less out of bragging, more so out of desperation for attention. Her hanging out with the CMC, who she sees as the lowest of low, and trying to be buddy-buddy with them, trying to meet royalty, shows how desperate she is to be in the limelight and wants for attention, which may be a clue into how depressing and shallow her life truly is. And her tough, mean exterior is just a mask. Or perhaps, once again, I'm thinking way too deeply into a minor element of the story. You decide! Also, she's been a princess for months. You never thought of just walking into the library and saying hi? No? Anyway, not since Ponyville Confidential have the CMC received such attention, and with any kid that receives such praise, the attention's gonna go to their head.
But stay out of sight. As you wish, Sweetie Belle. Yes, as I wish.
Thus, this line sets up how little control the CMC have over the situation, and soon plummets out of control. The CMC accept favors from their friends who want to impress them and hang out with Twilight.
Hold it!
They think you can tell us what to do?
Break it down!
At first, I was going to argue that the second act did tend to drag on, with all the scenes of the school children basically bribing the CMC, but I think that was the intention. As I said, the CMC had never received such positive attention before, and as they bask in the quote-unquote affection of the others, they have their priorities shifted as they neglect improving their skills, working with Twilight, and instead opt their time for oppressing the others with the CMC's friendship status with Twilight, which does show how much success can affect one's mindset, as the CMC were kind of taking advantage of their friends' generosity. However, they never did actually promise them they would go to hang out with Twilight for doing such favors. So they're not lying, they're just letting their success go to the head, which is kind of an understandable progression of pride when you reach that level of popularity. And with them being relatively new to the concept, they're unaware of how to take it in and process it all. Thus, their world comes crashing down.
And why do you want to become a cutie mark crusader so badly,
Because then I could get all my classmates to do me favors and stuff, because I'm friends with a famous princess.
Busted! Also, though they were unable to successfully perform their skills for Twilight, their growth was them taking the responsibility to realize what they've become, not only taking advantage of their schoolmates' generosity, but seeing that they've been essentially wasting Twilight's time. Thus, they make the mature decision to leave her. This was a subtly powerful scene, as their credo is crusading for their cutie marks, and their time with Twilight has greatly supplemented their opportunities. But their decision to leave means they've lost one of the best chances to discover their talents. A very noble sacrifice, which Twilight sees and giving them another chance and allows them to stay. And we get another simple but great moral about not letting your friend's social status be the root of your friendship, but simply the bonds of friendship itself. Overall, this was a good episode, and a surprisingly straightforward story for Mr. Polsky, whose narratives usually involve strange or odd occurrences. But Simple Slice of Life is a welcome addition to his library of episodes. Not one of the best of Season 4, but still good. Other things. Wow, Spike, the empathy just emanates right off of you. This transition, I found endless hilarity for whatever reason. Also, Twilight, I didn't know you could eat like a slob. Look at that guy in the background, he's like, huh? Also, the plans for the box.
The paparazzi. I have to protect my image!
And I think that's about it, so...
It's so adorable. You're the bad guys. You can't be adorable. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!